Hello, I'm so sorry for taking so long to respond to your question. First of all, I want to say that there's no silly question. Any question is welcome when it comes to learning language. The more curious you are, probably the more interesting learning experience you'll have. So, anyways, now on to your question. It's definitely not a silly question. In fact, it's quite important. To clarify things, I think for the video, I probably should have said that tones change the meaning if we're just looking at that individual character. So yeah, that's one thing I probably should have said better. So thank you for pointing that out. Now on to your question about the tone shifting. The rule that you mentioned is definitely correct. I want to say that I actually don't remember about the tone shifting until I start researching teaching materials for Chinese Mandarin. I do remember that I think my teacher mentioned that back in elementary school, like really briefly. It's like a concept that once you learn it, it kind of becomes a second nature. Now, I don't have an accurate response to why such shifting, such rule occurs, so I can only give you my experience and my assumptions. So don't quote me on this, it's just my assumptions of why such things happen. So I hope that it will at least help you to have a little better understanding when it comes to learning this language. So, onto my explanation. I think that this kind of tone shifting does not really confuse natives because they get used to it. I guess the best example I can think of is VOA compared to a natural speak. For example, let's take the most simple phrase, how are you? In real life, I don't know, it might depend on the region you live in. Some regions actually are pretty laid back that they actually talk slower than some other regions. So let's think of a beginner saying that phrase. They'll be like, how are you? How are you? They pronounce each word like really clearly. But then as a native speaker or someone with more advanced English, they kind of say it really quickly. They would just go like, how are you? How are you? So they kind of link everything together. So it doesn't matter whether you're saying, how are you? Or how are you? People will understand you. If we look at the Chinese one, let's pick the term 可以, 可以. If we try to say it tone by tone, der tone and der tone, then it becomes 可以. It kind of like requires this extra effort to pronounce that word because like 可以. You see how there's like a little bit difficulty when I try to pronounce it. But if you say it with this little tone change, then it becomes 可以, 可以. It's a lot more smoother for when people try to say the term 可以, 可以. So 可以. In fact, if you actually say really naturally, it really becomes just 可以, 可以, becomes very short and quick. So I guess what I should probably said in the video is tone is definitely important. The emphasis are really, I guess you should place a lot of emphasis when you were learning when you're first learning the tone. So you want to make sure you get each character's tone mark correctly. As you progress, you don't have to place as much emphasis on them because when you talk, the speed kind of catches up. So the speed increases and the tone becomes less clear. Not less clear, I guess. It's more like it's said a lot quicker that sometimes some people might not catch it. So it's good to emphasize that first, but not later on, if that makes sense. I guess I'm confusing myself. Anyways, I hope this at least helps a little bit. Thank you for asking this awesome question. Bye!